Good evening. I want to do a short tutorial video on how to connect your Ethereum wallet to your own node, and I would like to strongly encourage everyone to run their own node, no matter what. Is it IPFS, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever services you require and you rely on in a decentralized manner, you should always try to run your own node. I know this comes with restrictions. You need to have actual physical hardware to run these nodes on. You need to have sufficient access to the internet. Recently, due to the shifts in the huge geopolitical events, the internet becomes more and more fragmented, which is a huge issue. And services hosted by third-party companies such as Infura, which is the default provider for your MetaMask wallet, for instance, they are subject to political sanctions, like denying people in Venezuela or Cuba or Iran or even Russia to access their services. And you can easily circumvent that by running your own node. And today I want to show you how you can run your own Ethereum node using a DAppNode. And I have a DAppNode here, which is a pre-configured physical device you can buy on the DAppNode.io website from the DAppNode team. But I don't want to advertise this as a product. I want to emphasize on the potential this offers. And I want to also say in this regard that DAppNode is fully open source. It's fully non-profit. You can download all the packages that DAppNode offers and install it on your own hardware. So if you have an old workstation, old server rack, or even an old laptop, I'm personally running Ethereum nodes on 10-year-old laptops. You can just run your own node on basically anything you have available, and DAppNode is really the DAppNode software packages are a really convenient way of running nodes, because you do not need a command line experience, you do not need to deal with Linux or Docker or any containers, and all you need is some old hardware. You need to go to the documentation of DAppNode, download the DAppNode package, install it, or if you want to support the DAppNode team, you can buy some nodes like the one I have here and support them to maintain these open source projects further in the future. Yes, the DAppNode package allows you to maintain a variety of decentralized applications or nodes that are maintained through a web UI, which is really convenient. You can just use your mobile phone or use a web browser to access your DAppNode and maintain both the DAppNode itself, but also all these nodes you are running. I'm running IPFS, Bitcoin, Monero, and Ethereum currently. I have a very powerful DAppNode, but you can also scale down if you really just need, if you are into NFTs or into DeFi and you just need Ethereum, you can also get a smaller one and just run an Ethereum node. Today I want to show you how this looks like, and I opened up a MetaMask here that is connected to Ethereum mainnet. You are usually used to use the browser extension, which has this pop out. If you click the little fox, it pops out here. Just for convenience, not losing this pop out every time I use the full screen mode, but it's basically the same. So please do not be confused. I'm here connected to the Ethereum network. But as you can see, I manually added my own network. I will show you how this works in a bit. I'm just switching to my Ethereum DAppNode, and which is the one I'm having here on my desk right now, running an Ethereum full node. So I have my MetaMask now connected to the Ethereum full node. I fully control, and I can open up the logs in the interface. I can verify that this is working perfectly without needing to trust anyone else. So please allow me to show you the DAppNode admin interface. I'm now physically wired to my DAppNode because both my workstation I'm using to record this stream and the DAppNode are in the same local area network. So I just enter, I just open a browser and enter dappnode.local, and this gives me this login interface. The DAppNodes, most DAppNodes also have a Wi-Fi hotspot, so you can also connect to the Wi-Fi hotspot. And in that case, you will have to enter my.dappnode on your web browser, but the process of logging in and maintaining everything is the same. It's just a different domain. Now this is a DAppNode interface, and we are going to log in and take a look at the dashboard for now. You can see here I'm running various packages. I have a girly node. You can see it's fully synchronized. This green bar shows it's fully synchronized. I have a guest node, which is the one I am connected here in MetaMask. It's not fully synchronized. It's lagging a little bit behind because I recently had this node offline and I need to resynchronize it a little bit. I also installed a Prism node, which is a beacon chain node for Ethereum 2. A Monero and a fully synchronized Bitcoin node in case I need it. The DAppNode comes with an on-chain Dapp store, so you can install packages for whatever network you need. And today, here you have the girly guest package. I want to install this today. I already have it installed. It's already fully synchronized, but you can basically just go to the Dapp store, which loads. It's really interesting because it loads the all available Dapps from an Ethereum smart contract, which is like a package manager on chain on the Ethereum blockchain, and pulls all these package from IPFS and installed it on your DAppNode, which is really convenient. So in case I want a Zcash node, I just go on the Zcash package and then I click on install. I have to accept that, and now it's installing. But the process, you get it, it's like really easy. You do not need to understand Linux, command line, Docker, containers, nothing really. All just clicking through the very convenient web interface instructions, and now it's installing it. And after this is installed, it will give me this view where I can look into the logs, for example, taking a look at how this looks like running. It's downloading the parameters for the Zcash chain, but this is not what I wanted to show you today. I wanted to show you how to connect MetaMask to an Ethereum node. Going back to our dashboard, now you can see that the Zcash node is booting up. You always have here list of all your nodes and can see the progress here. If you want to expose your node, because right now it's just running here on my desk and I can only access this here on the local network I have here. But in case I want to have it on my phone or on my laptop when I travel or when I go to another office, I want to, or even at home, I want to have access to this node, so I need to expose it. And here you have a really convenient way of going to the network settings in the system view of your DAppNode package, where you have all these nodes here, and most nodes have services that they can be exposed, and most by default they are all off. So right now I do not use Bitcoin endpoint because I rarely do Bitcoin transactions with like my wallet, so I can turn this off now. Doesn't matter. I also I still need my mainnet gas endpoint, and here is the girly gas endpoint that we want to add to MetaMask. You can see it's a dappnode.io domain, so DAppNode hosts a service for us that is called dynamic DNS, which allows to dynamically resolve your internet IP to no, the other way around. It allows you to access your internet IP on your at home where you have your DAppNode running by not knowing this IP, but by knowing this string. And you don't need to remember the string, but it will basically just add it to your wallet later. So I can copy this for now, and we keep in mind that this is running. It's exposed, so it's public on the internet. And if I want to add it to MetaMask, I will go to this Add Network button. But this will not directly function because I'm behind a router. And if you run your DAppNode at home or at an office or in any place where you community space where you are behind a firewalled router, then you will not directly be able to access this endpoint yet from the open internet. And there's another step necessary. You have to go into your actual router configuration and enable universal plug and play UPnP. UPnP is it's supported by all browsers. It's just basically allowing to forward. It's automatically configuring port forwarding on your router, and this is necessary to allow access from the open internet to your router on a specifically defined port, and this router knows through the UPnP rules where to send this request in your local network. So from a router to the DAppNode. And here we can see the services I'm running. I have a SyncSing. DAppNode has 3 pages of entries for all the different kinds of nodes that I'm running. Once you turn this on your router, it's basically nothing else you need to configure. It usually just works out of the box. And as you can see, both the DAppNode interface and the router interface are just websites where you need to basically follow the instructions. Expose the service you want to add to your wallet, enable UPnP on your router, and you basically set. So going back to MetaMask, I want to connect a new network because I do not want to use the Enfurer endpoint for the girly testnet. I want to use my own endpoint, so we call it girly DAppNode, and we paste the URL of the endpoint. Oops, that requires HTTPS. That is fully encrypted. The chain ID for the girly network is 5. If you do not happen to know the chain ID, you can just look it up on the internet. You can, if you Google chain IDs, you will be able to find an extensive list of chain IDs for all chains that exist, or all EVM chains. The currency symbol, I think it defaults to ETH, but let's just call it girly ETH. The block explorer is, let's use Etherscan here. It's just convenient if you use girly.etherscan for a testnet, it can automatically link your transactions. And it gives you this red warning: this chain ID is used by the girly network. It's actually not a warning for us because we want to add the girly network. It just complains because MetaMask comes with a girly built-in endpoint already, so it believes it's a mistake that you want to add it. But yes, I want to run my own girly node, so I will connect my own girly node. This is the same story for Ethereum mainnet. If you want to add the mainnet, you just call it Ethereum DAppNode. You just use the Ethereum gas endpoint, and you give it a chain ID 1 for the Ethereum mainnet. So let's add this, and here we go. Here you can see that I have a testnet address that has some testnet ether, almost 5 girly ether, and I know this because I'm connected to my DAppNode that I have here on my desk. So I no longer require Enfurer or any other service. So I have a fully decentralized access to my own node that I'm running here. Let's go back to the network, to the DAppNode. Here are my packages that I'm having installed, and if I click on the girly guess, I have the option to take a look at the logs, and I will just show you that this is my node. This is not important. You can see here it imported a new chain segment. That basically means it imported a new block from the girly testnet. And what I'm trying to do now is to send a transaction. I will just transfer between my accounts from account 2 to account 3. I will send one girly ether. It can estimate the transaction fee, which is already a good sign. So it means the RPC is working. You can see I'm still connected to my girly DAppNode here. Now it's updating the gas price. I confirm it, and you can see here I sent the transaction. I can view it on Block Explorer, and here it is. It's pending, and if I go back to my DAppNode admin, I can see here submitted a transaction. So I know I have submitted my transaction, not on on someone else's computer, but on my DAppNode here on my desk at home, to my very own Ethereum node. And why is this so important? Because everything you see here, your account, your balance, your transaction history, all this can be tampered with. So if you use a third-party service or a node that you're not fully able to trust, you will be subject to manipulation. So a node, if I connect to someone else's node that I cannot guarantee that is fully verified Ethereum node, it can just tell my balance is 0, or tell me I have a quadrillion ether on my account, or some tokens that I do not care about. This is really important on the one hand, but on the other hand, if you are not able to use these services, like in Fura, in geo-blocked regions of the world, then this is just a good way to not only circumvent these pointless sanctions, but also to make sure you are in full control over the network you are running, and you are not excluded from Ethereum. You can still deal with NFTs. You can still trade on decentralized exchanges, and there's no way anyone can stop you from doing this unless they cut your power or internet access. But this is a whole different story. I will not address this today. That's it. My transaction that I created on MetaMask, connected to my own DAppNode, is now on the internet, on the Ethereum blockchain. Let me check. Here it is, 9 block confirmations, so EtherScan is telling me the truth. And that's basically it. It's just 20 minutes to set it up. Note that you can run this on any hardware, literally. DAppNode, the DAppNode software is really straightforward, really convenient to set all this up. You can find so many different packages here for so many different servers that you could require. Something that I really enjoy is also using IPFS. I can pin my IPFS websites or content I'm hosting. I can just pin it on my DAppNode, and I know that this will be always available on IPFS because it's just right here on my desk. I have control over this node, and I will always make sure that there's a copy of my data available. And I can encourage you, if you do not want to buy it, try at least installing it. Get an old laptop, do it. Synchronize your Ethereum node. Connect your MetaMask, MyCrypto, or whatever wallet you use. Connect it to your own DAppNode. And enjoy. the benefits of decentralization. That's it. Thanks for watching.